Hello everyone, my name is Michael Taylor with Sunblessed Farms. I am the president of Sunblessed Farms, and unlike our introduction to freeze drying videos where we're talking about the science or what to expect when you unbox, I'm going to be doing a recipe and a little research and development. You got some beef stew. We're going to cook it. We're going to show you how we do it. We're going to do it all the way from scratch. Then we're going to take it. We're going to show you all the way through the freeze drying process as well, all the way into bagging, putting your oxygen absorbers in, and checking for consistency, and making sure that your food is done in the freeze dryer. So one bit of advice I tell everyone is, if you get meat, get the stuff on sale. You know, you go into some of these supermarkets, and the stuff that is 2 or 3 days away from expiring, they'll mark down 30, 40, 50% sometimes. Well, the best thing about freeze drying is if you take that meat, you take it home, and you use it right away, that meat's still good, and you can utilize that meat in your freeze drying recipes. And once it's freeze dried, you got another 25 years of shelf life. So we tell everybody, get the sale stuff. You see, you don't have to be super organic. You can if you want, but if you find really good sale on carrots, or really good sale on potatoes, or frozen green beans or frozen carrots and peas, for like a beef stew, this stuff has to pre-freeze anyways. So I have never had a problem using pre-frozen vegetables in our recipes. Really good sale on onions. Just get the necessities that you need, to be able to make your recipe, and make it cheap and tasty. That's what you're looking for. Because most of this stuff, if you're like me, you like to go hiking, camping, hunting, you'll take a bag of your beef stew like we're going to make here with you up into the woods, and you heat up some water, and there you go. You got yourself a nice warm meal. It doesn't have to be, a Michelin rated recipe or a Michelin rated chef cooked meal. But you know what? It's from you. It's how you make it. It's from scratch, and just be creative. So we welcome you to our recipe series, and we're glad you are subscribing to our channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and follow us on our website at storecda.com, where we sell all the wonderful freeze dryers from the XL all the way down to the medium. We have right now we have free shipping anywhere. You go on our website, purchase it, we'll ship it right to your doorstep with FedEx Freight. So again, I'm Michael Taylor, president of Sunblessed Farms, and thank you for stopping by. Hi everybody, this is Michael Taylor with Sunblessed Farms. I'm back again with the actual preparation of the food now. So we went ahead and got some steaks on sale. I'm telling you, you need to go to the supermarkets and get the clearance meat. When you're freeze drying, it's the most economical way to freeze dry, because there's a reason why this is on clearance, is because it's got, say, 5, 6, 7 days left. So if you get it home, you have to put it in your freezer and cook it, say if your freeze dryer is running. But if you bring it home and cook it immediately, you could freeze dry it, and this thing will last you for 25 years. This is a great deal. So we're going to open up our steaks. All right, today we're making a beef stew, by the way. So I got a nice T-bone, so we're going to debone it. We're just cutting this up into chunks to make stew meat. That's all we're doing here. Get some nice stew meat going. Now, I like to have, about 1 inch by 1 inch cube cuts of steak when I'm doing mine. So I kind of line it up, make 1 inch strips. They don't have to be exact. There's not a science to it. We're cooking, right? So, and let's trim some of this fat off here. So, one thing that I do appreciate all of you for subscribing to our channel. We're going to have lots and lots of content coming up. We're going to have recipes. We're going to try to upload every Wednesday and go through the entire freeze drying process, from prepping the meals to cooking the meals to different ideas for ways that you can incorporate your home cooking and your leftovers into your freeze-dried food. And if you learn some ways, some recipe that you like to feed your family with, that's going to be great as well. So hopefully we all learn, including me. I claim and I tell everybody, I don't know it all. I don't know. I tell everybody I don't know much. Every day I try to learn something new. And but the one thing I do know is I do make good food, and I love savory food. So if you do as well, I know you're really going to enjoy this channel. So, all right. So, if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell. So that bell on the YouTube channel will notify you if you subscribe that we have new content available. So you get a notification if you really like these recipes. You're trying to figure out what to do next with your freeze drying. Hey, here's a great resource for you. So we got various cuts of meats today. That was a T-bone. Now I got a London broil. So what we're going to do after we cut these up is we're going to brown them in the skillet, and then we're going to put them into our crock pot and just let her cook. There's nothing better than coming home from work, having a nice crock pot of stew going. Typically what I do when I cook stews is I'll cook the meat and veggies like I'm making a roast, and then I'll season it after all the meat is tender. So basically what we're going to be doing today, but instead of having a giant roast, we're going to have cubed up steak chunks that we're going to use for our stew meat. Yes. So going through the process here. I like lots, and especially if you're going to fill up a medium freeze dryer, you're going to want to have lots of stew. A medium freeze dryer from Harvest Right is really good if you got, say, a family of you and your spouse and say a kid or two, or it's you and your significant other, either making foods just for it or taking your leftovers and just if say you make a big batch of spaghetti or something, and it's sitting in a pot or sitting in a bowl in your fridge, and it's been in there a day. You're thinking about the next meal that you're going to make for your family, and you're like, you know what, I don't want to throw it out. Let's freeze dry it. Medium freeze dryer is great for it. Medium freeze dryer is economical, it's quick, and it definitely does the trick. So, all right. So, let's throw these away here. Get another set. All right. Now when I brown my meat, I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil. That's a brand I got at the store. It's about 2 tablespoons or so. It doesn't have to be a lot. Basically, you just want it so the non-stick surface will work. On about medium high, I found is the best for cooking. So let that warm up a second. So one thing that we can do too while this is going is, I'm scaling it down, and I know I'm not being original here. Beef packs are, basically a cheat code as far as I'm concerned, but you know what, I'm trying to be the average person today. So we're in the land of make-believe with Mike's Cooking, and we're just, making stew the simple way for our family. And, we're going to season it with these. We're going to do it on the crock pot. And then we are going to just act like a normal family. We're all done. We're going to pretend we're done eating. And then we're going to put it in the freeze dryer, and we'll show the process there. So while this heats up, definitely be getting things ready. So we took a short little break there so I could get the pan warm. Didn't want to sit here and just keep rambling and waiting. This is a cheap induction burner, or a cheap burner here. So in the meantime though, I did cut up the rest of the steak, so we got a good pile of stew meat. So I'm gonna start adding this to our pan. Oh yeah, you can hear that sizzle. So, like I said, I should have cut the vegetables first, put them back in the bowl, but you know what? I'll have my my assistant, Natalie, come grab this cutting board after I get this meat off of here, and she is eager to come up and help. So get this meat in here. I like a lot of stew meat in my stew, so I'm going to be browning a lot of stuff here. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the bones that I trimmed off as well. So and then I'll put those bones into the crock pot to cook with everything. And you know what? The best part? That thing is delicious when it comes out. Eat it like a big old rib. So, put the rest of this in here. Oop. All right. So, leave these here for a second. I'm gonna just throw these right on top here. All right, so Natalie, why don't you come on over? This is my daughter Natalie. She is our super helper. She's brought me a spatula and a bowl. All right, Natalie, do you mind taking this cutting board over and getting it washed? Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get back to it here. So this is a lot to cook here, so we're going to be simmering this, just browning it. That's all we're trying to do. You can season it with some salt and pepper. Okay, so while our food or our meat is browning here, we're going to start chopping up some vegetables. Our super assistant Natalie was able to get this cutting board washed. So I love having leaks in our beef stews. So let's start cutting it up. So again, these kind of dissolve though in the beef stew, so you can cut them a little thick. Usually throw this part away. So what we have here are perfect little pieces. These add so much flavor to your stew. So let's go ahead and put these in our crock pot. And of course our potatoes. So I like to cube these up into about 1-inch pieces. So you can do whatever you want. One thing I will suggest with the freeze dryers, you don't want anything to protrude over the top of the tray. So if you do cut them, cut them kind of small. They don't have to be 1 inch, but make them so when they're sitting on the tray, they're not over the top. Let's add that in here. All right. Yeah, so we are so proud to give this series out to the people that follow our page and follow us on Facebook. I'm sure you've seen me in some of the groups. You've seen Dustin in some of the groups. We are a retailer for Harvest Right. Our website is storecda.com, where we sell freeze jars at the same price you're going to find at all the big box stores or even Harvest Right themselves. Typically Harvest Right, I know right now they have a sale going, but I will say that we can either beat Harvest Right's price or we can at least match it during these sales times. So if you prefer to keep your money with a small business, a family business, which we are, we would love to be your resource for your Harvest Right adventure. We've been in business now since 2021. We've been a retailer for Harvest Right since early this year. And I gotta say, we've met so many wonderful people and helped out so many wonderful people with questions or repairs or service. We love being active in your adventure, in your freeze drying adventure. We're not passive. Like, you go to some of the big box stores, you're gonna walk in, you're gonna ask questions. Hey, I'm interested in a freeze dryer. What can I do with it? Or do you have any suggestions? And I hate to say it, but the kid's probably gonna look at you like, are you gonna buy it or not? So we pride ourselves on being a resource for all your needs, answers questions. We love answering questions. Even if you're not even a customer of ours, reach out to us. Give us a call, 208-944-4488. And we will pick up the phone and we will help you the best that we can. Obviously there's things that is going to be out of our realm of expertise, such as repairs and stuff like that, but we will do everything we can to either get you the information or point you in the right direction to be able to get your question resolved. Dustin and myself, we take pride in basically taking charge of the situation where, say, you're not getting the answers you need. So don't hesitate to give us a call, and don't hesitate to follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or even just you see us on Facebook or in one of the groups or something like that. Leave a friendly comment. we've got nothing but 5-star reviews from our customers. Everybody that has purchased from us, whether you're in Texas or West Virginia, Idaho here locally, has had their machine ordered and shipped and received so fast. We can ship nationwide anywhere for free right now. So if you're in New York, Florida, Arkansas, give us a call. We'll direct you on everything you need to do online, and we offer financing as well if you need to, through a firm, which is one of our proud partners. So yeah, don't hesitate to utilize our resources, even just for accessories. We sell trays, we sell lids, we sell all the accessories that you'll ever need, including if you wanted to upgrade to the oil-free pump. We do that, and we can even set it up where when you make your purchase of, say, an XL, a large, or a medium, we can upgrade you directly when you make that purchase for actually cheaper than they sell the pumps for. When you make the purchase directly with your machine, it's for an oil-free pump, it's a $1,495 upgrade. If you were to just buy the pump separately, it's $1,695, and that's the absolute lowest per contract that we can sell those for with Harvest Right. So it's always cheaper to purchase them when you purchase your freeze dryer. But getting back to the point here, our recipe channel that we're trying to do here, we're trying to just promote, the average consumer and what they might eat. This isn't our proprietary recipe. This is just making a beef stew the simple way. But what we hope that you learn is not necessarily just how we make the stew, but how we freeze dry it. What to look for, what to expect, how to fill the machines. The fundamentals of freeze drying applied to your recipe. So, stew meat's starting to look pretty good. So the stew meat, it's got a nice browning to it. It's almost ready to go into the pot. Now don't be afraid if there's some juice in the bottom of the pan, because basically you just boiled off any bone broth, beef stock and stuff like that. So all that can go right into your pan with the vegetables and the stew meat. So it's almost done. In the meantime, let's get back to prepping. So now I'm not a chef. I do know how to cook, or I do try to anyways. My family seems to like it. And we are not paid by any of the companies of the products that we're using today. These are just stuff that we picked up at the grocery store. So if you see a brand, we're not endorsing them in any way. Feel free to use them. We use these brands in our home and we love them. They're good quality products, but we are not being paid or anything to say that. So the only paid promotion that we're doing is obviously the sales of our freeze jars. So we do try to just make the best food that we can make for you here. These onions I like to cut up nice and thin. Put these directly in our pot. I like a lot of onion in ours beef stew, so probably just use this one right here. I grabbed 3, but I think this one big one will do it. So I'll put these back here in our pot. Sorry about that. So, please feel free in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how long you've had your freeze dryer, or if you're thinking about buying a freeze dryer. You know, let us know who you are. Let us know why you're following our channel. And again, I invite you to check out our website, www.storecda.com. On there, you'll find all of our Harvest Right stuff. But another good resource that we have on there is our blog. We're constantly adding content to that blog of, you know, just general things, whether it's questions about our food supply or questions about meat processing, you know, things like, you know, when you're, you know, out hunting and you take an animal, 10 tips or something about how to, you know, process your game and, you know, pack it out of there successfully and minimize any food waste. Or, you know, the top things to have in, like, say, your bug out bag, or, you know, in case of an emergency. Because, you know, unlike what a lot of people say, having an emergency kit around is not a conspiracy theory. You know, one thing that I do myself, a lot of people don't know this, but I own a nonprofit called Mana Wildfire Logistics. You can find their website at www.mana wildfire.com. And what we do with Mana is we'll go into a community that's facing a wildfire evacuation, and we will work with a local church, a local business, community center, to be the point of reference where people can go to pick up our donated supplies. We bring typically hygiene products, feminine hygiene products, toothbrush, toothpaste, socks, you know, just basic supplies, shaving kits, and you know, other things that, you know, people obviously either didn't have or couldn't get in time. But we also bring water, you know, coloring books, coloring cans for kids, you know, shirts, socks, whatever we can scrape together. You know, we pride ourselves on being able to be a beacon of hope when people are faced with losing their homes or losing everything that they hold near and dear. And that's one thing that I'm sure if anybody on this channel right now has had to deal with a disaster in any way, those simple things, those simple gestures, when you got the whole weight of the world, you know, prying down on you, you know, not knowing if your kids are going to get the next meal, not knowing if, you know, just the simple questions in life are going to be answered. So having just a, you know, somebody, even if it's just to talk to, that's what we strive to do with our nonprofit. So getting back to here, in our blog, you know, we have so many resources that are available on that blog, and we ask everybody to please check it out. Learn about the we have 3 categories: meat processing, gardening, and foraging, as well as survival tips. So, and then we just added a fourth, which is our recipe series, which we'll be adding on there as well. So you'll actually be able to watch our videos that are on YouTube on there as well. So having, you know, various tips and stuff could really be lucrative for, you know, things to understand and things to be capable of during an emergency. So let's go ahead and put our meat broth in here now. All right. Wonderful. Well, lots of good stuff in here. And like I said, I typically I'll put my my bones in here as well and let those stew in there with the veggies, and while this simmers. Lots of good stuff here. All right. So the next step will be to add our beef broth. So add one of these. And what I do is I usually get the beef broth up to just covering all the fruit or all the meat and the veggies and stuff like that. Or actually just underneath, and then I'll add probably a cup of water as well. But this adds so much flavor to this stew. This beef broth, plus all these wonderful vegetables. So we're gonna put this on high on our crock pot for probably about 4 to 6 hours. I'm gonna put some bay leaves in here, just a couple, right on top. And we'll pull these out when we put in our carrots and stuff. Nice, good one. About a half of one. Yeah, so 2.5. It works. I love bay leaves. Put such a good flavor in there. We'll add a little bit more salt. And just a little bit more pepper. And again, season this to your taste. You know, this is just, the whole premise of this video series is not necessarily to focus on the recipe. The premise of this video series is to focus on how you get this into the freeze dryer and then into the bags and then into your pantry. So we will be getting more in depth with more detailed recipes, but starting recipe series, we're just doing something simple, which is a beef stew. Yeah, we're doing it, you know, basically the package style. So you know, there's nothing special about this recipe, but going forward, you know, we might get creative. We might do like a beef stroganoff or you know, a spaghetti. Little tips and tricks on how to do it, you know, leftovers. Another thing we'll probably do is, you know, just something simple. Bring in some leftovers from my own personal home and show the quick, simple way on how to fill up your trays and, you know, get your food going into your freeze dryer. So we're gonna let this sit on high for about 6 hours.